How many guys have you slept with?
No.
Come on, I really want to know.
I don't want to tell you.
I mean, we're talking, we're being open. Like, I swear I won't get mad. Swear.
You promised you won't get
mad. Swear to God. How about this? How about we say our number at the same time?
Like on the count of 3?
Count of 3.
All right.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. 135. 7, that's it?
Excuse me? Say that again? 135?
Well, yeah, I slept with a lot of dudes. I don't know.
Yeah, you did? 135?
I'm over here giving you a full buffet, all you can eat, bitch. But you want to mess around and cheat on me with some scraps? Scraps? Ew.
Gentlemen, never believe women when they tell you what their body count is. Okay, you can ask your girlfriend of 5 years, your wife of however many years, and she's going to tell you a lie. Okay, what's going to happen is women like to paint themselves as angels, man. They like to paint themselves as people who, oh, well, I've only had 3 relationships, so I've only been with 3 guys, and that's my body count. No, it's not. All right, she won't count the dudes from back in her college party years when she was 21. Okay, she's not going to count all of these other experiences that she had, because women, given the opportunity, guys, they will paint themselves as angels. Right? They'll paint themselves as the most secure people, and my life is fantastic, and I love myself and stuff like that. I mean, if you ask these women why they put on makeup, why they take all these photos of themselves, they're never going to say it's for attention, right? They're never going to say that it's because they're insecure in themselves. No, it's going to be because they love themselves. They want to share their life with other people and spread the positive vibes. They're going to make up some BS like that, right? A lot of these women, man, what they're doing is they're in it for the attention. They're in it for the validation, right? That's why when women are in relationships and they dress a certain way and they post all these pictures online and stuff like that, they're still out here looking for the bigger and better deal, right? Women get into relationships, man, and they've always got one foot out the door looking for the next best thing, and they'll go on social media for that. Right, all those dudes in her Instagram DMs, she's gonna pass it off as though, oh, he's just a friend. Right? You don't have to worry about him, or he's just a guy friend. Don't stress about it. And then when relationships end and that woman is in the relationship, seeing that dude within 2 weeks, a lot of guys are stumped thinking to themselves, why? These girls know what they're doing, man. Right? Whenever they tell you the answers to these questions, it's all about managing perceptions. It's kind of like talking to a politician, right? Where the answers you're going to get, they're never going to be concerned with objective truth at all. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we're going to be talking about the TikToks that you gentlemen have sent into the show. So thank you very much for sending those in. If you'd like to send your own TikToks and stories, make sure you send them to mrfiend11@gmail.com. Make sure you send them there, guys, because I can't get to them if they're in Discord or Instagram and all that kind of stuff. Make sure you send them through mrfiend11@gmail.com. And as always, guys, if you are interested in supporting the channel, make sure you check out the locals link in the description. The first month is totally free with code Fiendish. But something we're going to be talking about today, gentlemen, is the fact that women don't want you to know this stuff. They really don't. They'll get on social media, and it's so funny how they'll all collectively lie about the exact same thing. Right? They'll all lie about how many dudes they've been with. They'll all try and save face on this issue or that issue. And, you know, you can really start to see that on certain places on the internet, some worse than others, but we're going to be jumping into a few Reddit stories pertaining to that later today. But yeah, we've literally got dudes out here in marriages, long-term relationships and stuff like that. I mean, I've seen stories of dudes who, you know, believe that their wife has been celibate up until the point that they met. Little did they know that the girl has been with many dudes before him. Okay, and women will go, oh, why should that matter? Why does my past matter? Of course it matters, man. Of course it matters. People want to talk about the fact that, oh, my past shouldn't matter and I can do whatever the hell I want because it's 2021 and that's empowerment. No, doing whatever the hell you want isn't empowerment, right? It's so weird to see these people talk about how I'm so confident in myself and that's why I have a body count of 135. Right? I have a body count that's so incredibly high, and the reason for it is that I care about myself. No, the reason you have it that high is because you don't care about yourself. Right? It's so interesting to see these women talk terribly about their relationships and say how, oh, I went through this relationship and it was terrible, or I went through this situation and it was terrible, all the while voluntarily choosing those relationships and those situations. It's so hard to have empathy or sympathy for these people, man, because they're all doing it to themselves. Like it's so strange to see because women will get to 30, they'll get to 40, and they'll all collectively have the same issue. Oh, why can't I find a man? Right? Why can't I find a guy who takes me seriously? And you look at their entire life, and they haven't been taking themselves seriously this entire time, man. Right? All they've been doing is screwing around, trying to chase dudes who, quite frankly, are just way out of these girls' leagues. But let's jump into today's first Reddit story. So this one is titled, I found out my wife had been having an affair. Friday, I woke up to a text from her friend telling me that they had been having an affair since February. My wife lied to me for almost an entire year. She broke my heart a few months ago, telling me that she didn't love me anymore. Then she wanted to get back together and told me that while we were broken up, she had a one night stand with a friend. I jumped through insane mental hoops to try and reconcile this. I mean, we were broken up at the time, so it's not cheating, right? Then we spend a good month together, getting close again, being intimate, taking care of each other. Then she deploys with the Navy, and her friend is in her department. She finally confronts him and breaks it off. He loses his crap and spills everything to me, I guess, to just punish her. It's always interesting to see these women when they talk about their dating situations and the fact that a dude's just different. Oh, yeah, we just happen to rock up in the same class, right? We happen to be in the same unit, the same profession, the same job, all this kind of thing. Let me tell you something, man. Women will literally deliberately go out of their way, and this isn't particular to this situation, okay? But women will go out of their way and in a vindictive sense, like if you've wronged them in some way, oh, they'll get with your friend, right? They'll get with your friend, they'll get with someone you know, an acquaintance or something like that. And people want to talk about how men are vindictive, right? Men are revengeful, and we do all of these terrible things. Women will literally get with that person when she could have a pick of any other dude. She could get in like any other relationship and stuff like that, but no, she'll choose the one that's in your social circle to get with, right? And typically it'll happen between a couple of weeks, right? Like these girls will literally get out of a relationship and they'll be seeing another dude within 2 weeks because she already knew what was going to happen. And this is so funny when you put it into context of the fact that people will say that, oh, men are the ones who get the men are the ones who have the power in the dating market, right? Men are the ones who choose their relationships. No, every time you see a girl who talks about, oh, my boyfriend was this or my relationship was toxic, just remember that she chose that relationship. Okay, women will literally queue up men. And I mean queue up men. Like, they'll be in a relationship with one dude, and they know that when that relationship ends, oh, Tommy's gonna get it next. Right? I'm gonna be in a relationship with this dude next. I know who's going to be next. And they know who's gullible, they know who will give them free attention, and they know who won't. Right? Girls know, believe me, man. Girls know the types of dudes who will be in a relationship with them and who will be easy to manipulate versus the ones who won't. And if you're a dude and maybe you're naive to this stuff, you will be a target, especially if you have money or something like that. I mean, a lot of dudes, who, if applies to the dudes who are being married, if you're a man and you've been married and you divorce and you've got any sort of wealth or anything like that, or just in general, if you divorce, you are going to be a target for this kind of stuff, right? And that's really sad to say because a lot of girls out here, not all of them, but a lot of them, what they'll do is when dudes come out of situations like this or they've finally built themselves up, then it's the green light, right? It's the green light to go, oh, I can get him into a relationship now. He can be my insurance policy. But let's continue onwards with this story. Then she deploys with the Navy. Her friend is in her department, of course. She finally confronts him and breaks it off. He loses his crap and spills everything to me, I guess, to just punish her. Then she begs me to take her back to help her become a better person. We have been together for 7 years. Our daughter turns 6 tomorrow. Man, that's just sad, right? Whenever I read stories like this, it's just compounded and made worse by the fact that a kid's involved. It's that is always like one of the saddest things because the kid's going to be affected by stuff like this, right? We talk about relationships on this channel. We talk about ridiculous situations, whatever the case may be. Okay, but the thing is, the moment you involve a child, that affects the child's life for the rest of their life. You know what I mean? So, man. It's like the fact that these people just can't keep it in their pants, right? And they go out and they have affairs and stuff like that, and there's a kid in the picture, right? It's like really you didn't care about your family, you didn't care about your husband that much that you're willing to go out there and screw everything, and you've literally got a 6-year-old at home. That's just crazy to me, man. That blows my mind that people do that. I feel like I'd be absolutely crazy to take her back. Everyone who cares about me agrees, but this little part of me just wants her back. to hold her and confide in her and trust her again. Please talk some sense to me. I can't sleep. I can barely work or eat, and I'm falling apart. Something that's really kind of messed up about these situations is that a lot of men will be willing to go through this stuff, right? Oh, I just want to trust her again. I just want to go through this situation again. And a lot of dudes can't find it in themselves to kind of pull away from the situation and go, you know what? This situation is doomed, right? Or she's not worth the attention. Like, where's the self-respect, right? A lot of men are not taught self-respect. You're taught to have no self-respect and put up with situations that don't benefit you as a man at all, right? This kind of situation occurs so much in life where men are quite frankly used, whether that be for their resources, their time, attention, and validation and stuff like this. And if you leave that situation, then you didn't help her heal. I mean, what was that excuse? Let's actually go back to that. That was a hell of an excuse, wasn't it? I think we kind of glossed over that. Yeah, let's look at this. She begs me to take her back to help her become a better person. Right? All of this will be framed to make you as the guy feel guilty or you as the guy to feel ridiculous. Men like this will come out of these relationships and they'll think to themselves, did I do something wrong? It's like, no, man, no. It disgusts me to see when I see dudes go through this situation and they think that they did something wrong. Right? For women who talk so heavily about, oh, I was manipulated in my relationships and my relationships were so toxic and he was so manipulative, it certainly seems to me that girls are very good at manipulating. Very, very good at manipulating. And the thing is, men are not very good at manipulating men. I talk about this a lot on the channel, and at some point I need to get around to writing a little ebook about it. But the thing is, men are not inherently good at manipulating men. Like, we're just absolutely clueless about it. The thing is, a lot of guys, when they're in relationships, they don't even know that they're being manipulated half the time, right? They'll accept less bedroom fun and they'll go out there and they'll do all these chores for girls who don't respect them and stuff like this. And what's happening is the woman is manipulating the entire time. Women will do this stuff where, man, where once they know that they've got you, they'll dangle physical intimacy in front of you. They'll dangle love and care in front of you to get you to do household chores for them. I know that sounds really crazy to hear, and maybe a lot of you guys who haven't been in relationships like that are probably thinking, yeah, Taylor, yeah, right. But if you've been married, guys, if you've been in a long-term relationship, let me know your experience in the comments with this, because a lot of men go through this, where women will literally leverage bedroom fun against men. They will leverage their intimacy, right? And if you reject that, then you're what? You're toxic, you're the A word. Any of these hot buzzwords get thrown around to kind of shame men into putting up with bad behavior. Right, I understand that people, when you watch my channel, guys, you probably won't agree with everything I say on here. But something that's just that I just really want to drive home is the fact that if you're a dude and you're in a relationship, please do not put up with situations like this, because the default is that you're expected to. Right, the default that is that you as a man, you're supposed to find your happiness by giving to other people who don't deserve it. Right, and you're going to be lined up to be exploited in this way. Like, I truly mean that, gentlemen, where you as a dude, if you don't know about this sort of stuff, you will be lined up to be exploited in this way. I mean, not all girls will do this, man, but let me tell you this. A lot of women are incredibly good at manipulating, right? And again, they'll say that, oh, I've been through this bad relationship or this thing happened to me. A lot of the stuff, right? In this particular space on the internet, right, girls will complain about how, oh, videos like this teach men to manipulate and all these dark tactics and, oh, he's ignoring my message and it's so toxic or whatever the hell is, right? But the thing is, all these little things that men learn, they learn it from women, guys, right? You think men are out here manipulate? A lot of men don't care for manipulation. They don't care for mind games. A lot of men just want some peace and quiet, man. Especially, I make this point quite a lot, but especially the dudes who get older, they realize that nothing really comes above the peace and quiet, right? The peace of mind. Men don't want to be going out here playing all these BS games. It is the women who love the drama. They love the excitement, the butterflies, the, oh, what's next? What's the new exciting thing? And here's the thing, as a guy, women will get bored of you real damn quick, right? Well, let's have a look at this next one. And again, thank you, gentlemen, for submitting these in. It makes sourcing the content so much easier. So let's crack into this one. Instead of looking for a partner, look for a father to your children, because that is what you're potentially choosing every time you choose a man. So ask yourself, would you be happy for your son to turn out exactly like this man? Would you be proud of him? Would you be disappointed to find out he's treating a girlfriend the way this guy is treating you? Would you be happy for this man to model you for your daughter what to expect in a relationship. If she brought home someone like him, would you be delighted for her or be worried? In the event that the relationship doesn't work out, because sometimes they just don't, do you trust that this man could stay civil and cooperative and still be a good role model even if you weren't together anymore? Choose the father of your children very wisely, because we've all seen how much multi-generational misery a bad choice can cause. Many of us have experienced it firsthand, and ironically, it made us less well equipped to make good choices for ourselves. But it can be easier to do what's best for someone other than ourselves, especially when we're still working on breaking out of that conditioning, and when there is no one else thinking far into the future. Can be helpful. Even for the ladies who have decided not to have kids, this is a good thought experiment. Gentlemen, a couple of things to touch on here is the fact that women who are single mothers, right, or women who choose a lot of, for lack of a better word, toxic men, right, women who choose these bad relationships, they choose Chad who doesn't want to deal with her and all that kind of thing. What a lot of these women end up doing, okay, is they get to 30, they get to 35, and they realize, oh, damn, I'm on a timer for some kids, right? So I'm going to go out there, I'm going to have my kids now, and they get with a good man, right? They will quote unquote, in their own words, settle for a good man. Oh, he's, you know, that guy that women will say, "Oh, you're a great guy. Any woman would be lucky to have you, but just not now." Right? I'm just not ready for a relationship yet. And then you see the exact same woman should be with some dude, you know, in the exact same week, right? Those those guys that she said is a great man. What that essentially means is that you're an insurance policy for later on. You're a guy that she's going to come along later on when she needs, and then she's going to go, oh, okay, we're going to have the relationship now. And the thing about that is, when that happens, if you guys have a kid together, what she's going to do is she'll probably end up splitting off from you, right? She'll make some BS excuse when she's got the family, the ring, whatever the case may be. And a lot of these women, when they become single mothers, what they do to the children, especially the young men, is they raise them in such a way that they make them very unequipped for the dating market, right? What they do is they raise them to be, I don't like to use this word, guys, but, you know, it'll help describe the situation. They raise young men to be betas, is what they do, right? They raise young men to be weak, to have no sense of boundaries, to do anything and everything for women, because that's what she, quote unquote, wants in a relationship. Because she thinks to herself, oh, well, that's what I would have wanted from Chad, right? I wanted him to be nice to me. I wanted him to give me all of these compliments. So what they do is they raise their sons in such a way that he's going to be that nice guy that comes along and tries to save all these women from themselves, and it'll never work, right? She will raise her kids in such a way that that child is going to be so unsuccessful in the dating market, it is unreal. I mean, we see it everywhere, gentlemen. These single mothers want to talk about how, oh, I'm so strong and independent. And then you look at their child, right? And the child didn't have a choice in this, right? The young boys don't have a choice in this. That's why it's always so sad to see when we cover stories on this channel of when men get kicked out of family units and stuff like that. You just know that it's going to have such a negative impact on the child, right? It's not as though, and I make this point in a lot of videos recently, guys, right? Where it's not as though you can just kick men out of a unit of some sort, whether that be the family unit, whether that be society, and there be no consequences to it, right? The idea that men are just these bumbling buffoons, right? We see it in The Simpsons, right? We see it in all sorts of media where men are kind of like men are either the really clueless people or they're the villain at the end. You know what I mean? And any sort of main character is going to be this weak guy who doesn't really know anything about the world, and he's going to be very inexperienced and very shy and very timid and all this kind of crap as he learns slowly, right? It's like masculinity is being shoved out to the point where people think it's just okay to shove out men out of the families and there's going to be no consequence to it. Like, none at all. The idea that women, uh, single mothers, raise better children than single fathers is actually laughable. It is incredibly laughable. A lot of these children, man, when they grow up, they don't have life skills, right? They don't know how to handle certain things. A lot of kids who grow up without fathers, I make this point a lot, but they grow up and they go to places like prisons. They get a criminal record because people who grow up without fathers, guys, they don't fly so good. And again, I don't make that comment to be rude. I don't make that comment to be degrading to people who have grown up in a broken family. I say that because a lot of people who grow up in a broken family are disadvantaged, guys. You're put in a bad situation to begin with, right? But let's see what else we got here. We'll jump into the next Reddit story. So this is a bit of a longer one, guys, so buckle in. Girlfriend who is 28 slept with someone at the start of our relationship. Is it cheating? I, a 26-year-old male, have been dating my girlfriend for 3 years now, and honestly, it's everything anyone could hope for. She is very loving, supporting, and caring. We have a very active, intimate life too. We have talked about marriage and kids, and we are mostly on the same page. We have both met each other's parents. Anyways, we were at a friend's house Friday night where we were getting intoxicated and playing stupid made-up games. Suddenly, one of the girls started her own version of trivia night, where she will say the month and the year, and you have to say who you were sleeping with back then. It was kind of fun kind of fun if too much information. Anyways, when it came turn to be the turn of my girlfriend, she said a completely different name than me when we had been dating for a month by then. At first, I thought she was confused as she was pretty intoxicated, but she then repeated something which happened during that month, so now there was no doubt in my mind. Anyways, I didn't make a scene and we left. Next morning, I asked her very calmly about it, point blank, and to her credit, she said yes. For the first month in our relationship, she was seeing others casually because she was not sure about me. But after we took a trip to see her family and seeing how I was with her family made me realize her mistake, and she deleted everything from her phone and became committed to me. And I don't doubt that she has been unfaithful. Man, women will do this thing where up until the point where you guys are 100% exclusive, oh, she'll be screwing around. Right? She'll be talking with dudes and all that kind of thing. Like, up until the point where you're 100% exclusive, girls will consider it free game up until that exact day. Right? I've said stories like this on the channel before, guys, but I've literally seen women who they'll be seeing a guy, right? And they'll say, "Oh, I love you. I care for you. You're the only man for me," and all that kind of crap. And then she'll still be seeing a dude up until that dude decides to commit to her, right? And then she'll commit to him. See, what women will do, guys, is they'll have multiple men on the go at the same time. They'll still be talking to this guy over here, this guy over there, and they know which ones they want a relationship out of, so they play all of them simultaneously while waiting for a relationship to to materialize. Right? They'll wait for one of the dudes to ask them out, and then they'll cut out the other guys. Right? And then those other guys, you know what they'll become, gentlemen? They'll become the, oh, he's just a friend. Right? Isn't that just such a hilarious cycle, right? Where all of the dudes that she'd been talking to beforehand, right up until the point where you two were exclusive, they, after you guys are together, turn into, oh, he's just a friend. Right? I've seen situations where women will get in a relationship with a dude, and then they'll run across a guy while they're in a club or something like that, and they'll say, "Oh, hey, this is my friend," and then they'll introduce the two people as though they had been having bedroom fun like the week prior. Right? It is so disgusting, man. And the dude that's in the relationship won't be any the wiser. He'll be sitting there going, "Oh, it's nice to meet you, Dave. I've heard a lot about you. You seem like a great guy." And the thing is, if you as a guy, you sit there and you go, "Oh, well, I don't think he's just a friend," and that's really weird. She see what she's going to do, and what a lot of women will do is they'll shame you. They'll go, "Oh, you're just insecure. You should be more trusting," or "Why won't you let her have friends?" Right? If you were a real good man, you'd let her have friends, and that's on you. If you don't want to put up with this, if you don't believe he's a friend, then that's on you. Meanwhile, knowing full well that she has literally been with the dude earlier that week, I'm telling you, man, I've seen this exact same situation where it was actually out on the town, right? Where a girl was with her boyfriend, and then she introduced another man to him, and she had literally been with that man like the week prior, right? And the boyfriend had no idea, right? The boyfriend probably would have been a bit frustrated had he known this information, but here's the thing: women will play that card because they know that they can, right? And this will be a thing that if you read stories like the ones that we read on the channel, guys, you'll see kind of, we don't go on like a lot of specifically women Reddits, but they'll all kind of defend the position that, you'll notice that women will all kind of collectively defend the position that you as a man, you can't say anything about it, right? Because then you're insecure. It's almost like there's a giant unwritten agreement that every woman is kind of going to cover for each other and say that, oh, she should be allowed to have friends, because anything that kind of takes away from women's ability to choose their partners is something that is seen as so inherently negative that they lose their minds over it. Right? Oh, you mean to tell me that I can't keep around the three previous intimate partners that I've had for any future future things that I might want to pursue, right? Because they don't want to let those prospects grow, those prospects go away. But let's continue with this story here. Now I am at a loss on how to proceed. On the one hand, she is everything I want in a partner. On the other hand, she did keep such a huge secret from me. We were talking about engagement and marriage in 22, but now I don't know. Has anyone been in this kind of situation before? What's the best course forward? Edited to add, I am staying at my best friend's place this Saturday since she has been crying ever since, calling me, texting me to just meet her once again and let her explain. This is the most hilarious part, right? is like, is when situations like this happen, and this goes more so for dudes who have been in long-term relationships, right? If you're a man and you've been talking to a woman about marriage, right, and about further commitment and kids down the line, and then something like this happens, she's not upset. Like, she's upset for herself. You see what I'm saying? She's not upset because of what she did or she feels remorseful or anything like that. I'll show you why she's upset, guys. Let me find it back in the story, okay? Let's see if I can find it. Blah, blah, blah. Right here. This is why she's upset, up here. We have talked about marriage and kids, and we are mostly on the same page. You see, she knows that ring was coming if she didn't screw up. Right? She knows that her life was on track if she didn't screw up, but now all of that's in jeopardy. Their 3-year-long relationship and what she wanted out of it is in jeopardy because she screwed up. And that's hilarious to see, man. Like she's not she's not crying for anything that she did. She's not crying because she's remorseful. She's crying because, oh, now this kind of stuff is on the line. Her investment, what she put into this dude, everything that she worked for down the line, now that's on the line. You see what I'm saying? So let's have a look at what he says here. Edited to update. Sorry for not replying to any of your comments, but I had to come home and decided to talk to her. She said that she was so sorry to have hurt me, but she didn't know I was serious from the first date onwards. She also said that she wasn't sure about me during this first month, but also I didn't make anything clear, and I apologize for that. After reading through a lot of replies, I realized that just because I was not pursuing anyone else doesn't mean everyone is doing the same. It was my mistake and I owned it. So now we are going to watch Dracula Dead and Loving It and have some pizza. Thank you all for giving me a new perspective on this one and pointing out my own shortcomings. And just to clarify, since my mind was at 100 places while writing this, she was not sleeping with anyone while sleeping with me. We have been exclusive in that regard from the get-go. What did I tell you, man? These women, right up until the point where you make it exclusive, they'll be seeing other dudes. Right? They'll lie to you about their body counts, they'll lie to you about everything. Right up until the moment where you're exclusive, she'll still have a bunch of other men on the go. And here's the thing, once relationships like this begin, the dude that she was talking to, usually I'm skeptical as to whether she even blocked him, okay? But women will keep around men like this just for after the fact. Edit. This will be my last edit before we go to sleep. A lot of you are saying, why did she take me to her parents' house as if it was some sinister plan of hers? It wasn't. She had a paper cut in her finger, so she didn't want to drive, and I volunteered. She kept saying that she will take the train out, but since it was only 90 minutes away, and yes, I wanted to impress my crush, so I insisted. Goodness me, gentlemen. You see, when women get into relationships, right up until the point that they actually get in the relationship, they will do this exact same kind of behavior. Right? Where it's free game up until that point because a lot of girls think that it's just as easy for men. Right? It's just as easy for dudes to go out here and have these casual relationships and stuff like that, but it's simply not. A lot of men have a very low body count compared to women. In fact, the majority of people who haven't had bedroom fun are men nowadays, I believe. Right? So girls want to think, oh, okay, well, he must be seeing girls up to this point, so surely I can go out there and have fun. And I'm telling you, man, girls will literally see multiple men on the same day at this point in relationships. Right? This is particularly true for the younger women who view this kind of stuff as empowering and, oh, you're just liberating yourself and you're doing these things because it helps you make your own decisions in life and that's what makes you strong and independent. The idea that they're doing it out of some sort of self-love and self-esteem thing is just absolutely laughable. But guys, we're going to be continuing into today's last Reddit story here, so make sure you leave your thoughts and your comments as we continue through. And this is a bit of an interesting one. So here we have, speaking of women-only subreddits, this one is titled, When Dating, Do You Have Certain Professions That You Avoid? Here is my list. Doctors, they're too entitled and full of themselves, feeling like their profession in itself is enough to make them attractive, while not understanding the difference between arrogance and confidence. Very ironic. Pilots, same as above to a milder degree, my profession is my personality. Psychologists and therapists, I believe most of them have their own deep-rooted issues that instead of acknowledging and working on, they subconsciously try to fix by fixing someone else. This is also just my experience, but I honestly haven't met a psychologist who wasn't a narcissist, sociopath, etc. Also, many of them will use their psychological knowledge to try and manipulate you. Men who work as teachers in kindergartens with small children in general. I'm child free, so this is just a personal preference, as I know I wouldn't be a good match for someone who enjoys children enough to work with them. Fitness instructors. I don't know if I even have to explain this one, but people who make an extreme focus on physical appearance, mirror selfies, and protein smoothies, their identities are a huge turn off for me. Professions that I do find attractive. Business owners and entrepreneurs can be anything from a carpenter to something more extensive. I tend to be attracted to people who are very independent and show initiative, and I find these traits are often found in men who choose to start their own business instead of working for someone else. Chefs. I like food and men who can cook. Men who work and are good with something and are good at something that requires completely different skills and knowledge than my own in general. I enjoy spending time with people who can teach me new things, inspire, and challenge me. Oh, and I have to add one, yoga instructors. Been there, done that, not going back. You can tell, right? Women who write posts like this, she's been with a doctor, she's been with a pilot, she's been with psychologists, therapists, men who work as teachers, fitness instructors, business owners, entrepreneurs, chefs. I mean, what else have we got here? Yoga instructors. I mean, gentlemen, the list goes on. And here's the thing, you can have whatever dating preferences you want, right? If you're a dude and you don't want to get with a girl who, maybe she has this profession or maybe she spends all of her time doing that, it's like totally cool. But here's the thing, all of men's preferences in dating, they get shut down as, oh, you're discriminating, right? Or you're saying that you don't want this person and that makes you the M word. Because you as a man, if you don't want to date someone, people take huge offense to it. Right, again, I'll make this point once again on the show, guys, is that women will complain about men get emotional when they get rejected, and yet they will be the worst people in the world when they get rejected. Right? If you as a man, you want to talk about your preferences, a lot of girls will chalk that up to you being you being rude, you being somehow against them. Right? This is something that you'll see on dating apps, particularly with girls who have children or they don't take care of their body, where it's almost expected that you as a man, you come along and save the day. But guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. So as always, make sure you leave your thoughts and your comments, gentlemen. It's always interesting to see what you guys have to see. If you disagree with anything I've said, guys, feel free to do so. That is what the comments box is for. And as always, gentlemen, if you are interested in supporting the show, make sure you check out the locals link in the description. The first month is totally free over there on me with code Fiendish, guys. So make sure you check that out if you're interested in supporting the channel. But otherwise, we will be calling it there. So, gentlemen, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I will be seeing you boys in the next episode. Peace.